In earlier versions of Epson Media Installer, when a custom media is exported, the file format is called an EMY. An EMY contains all the settings you can see here, including the ICC profiles defined below. Due to restrictions regarding how ICC profiles made by Epson can be distributed, a change was made in previous versions of Epson Media Installer to restrict which computers could import an EMY. This restriction considers EMY files as a backup for that exact printer and not for distribution to other users or printers of the same model. To expand the capabilities of the EMY file format, a new version of the file format called EMY v2 has been introduced in Epson Media Installer version 2.0. You can see I have a custom media currently highlighted on the right-hand side. It indicates that it's an EMY v2. Now, when you export the media from Epson Media Installer, the EMY v2 format will be used. The software will remove any ICC profiles made by Epson when you export to the new EMY v2 file format. However, any custom ICC profiles you've defined will be maintained for the export. When the EMY v2 is imported again, Epson Media Installer will re-download any of the original Epson-made ICC profiles that may still have been in place at the time of export. I've re-imported the EMY v2 here, and if I go to edit it, I can see that even though the original Epson profile was not exported, it is once again in place, as well as my custom ICC profile also in place. Epson Media Installer version 2.0 introduces the idea of a vendor to exported custom media. You will be asked for a vendor name when you first export a media to an EMY v2 file. This provides an opportunity to include the name of the maker of the paper for which you are making custom media settings. Here I have a custom media selected, and I'm going to go to export for the first time. I'm presented now with an area to put the vendor name. I'm just going to type vendor and continue. You'll see vendor is included in the export file name and will also be included inside of the EMY v2 file format. Once you set the vendor name once, Epson Media Installer won't ask you again in future exports. If you do want to set the vendor name to something else, instead of using the export button along the right-hand side, use the export button along the top. Here you can select one or more media, and you'll notice in the upper right-hand corner, you can set the vendor name to something else. Then hit export. This is just asking me if I want to overwrite a previous one. Hit OK. The EMY file format from previous versions of Epson Media Installer is now called EMY v1. If you are upgrading from a previous version of Epson Media Installer and had previously created some custom media, those media are still present in the media list. However, when you export those custom media, they will be saved as the new EMY v2 file format, even if they previously had been an EMY file. Importing original EMY files will still be restricted by serial number, even in Epson Media Installer version 2.0. If the EMY file you are trying to import was made on another computer, first upgrade that computer's Epson Media Installer to 2.0, then re-export the custom media as the new EMY v2 file format. This will allow you to import without restriction on other computers. These are the differences between the EMY file formats available in Epson Media Installer version 2.0.